Clearly
now a sports podcast.
Yeah, when you're talking about Luca, I think you mean like the song. My name is Luca. I live on the 7th floor. I don't know.
Clearly, I'm a jack of
There's
all
a
trades,
Pixar
master
movie,
of none.
Luca, coming out, right?
Yeah, I
yeah,
know a
looks
little
good.
everything, but clearly not enough of anything either, because I talk about shoes and sports and all that.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Welcome, everyone, to the Heroes World Podcast Quarantine Edition. I'm your host, Dupe. Join with me, of course, are my fellow pod folks, as I like to refer to them as. But yes, the owners and proprietors of the Heroes World store in Markham, Ontario, John and Andre. Please say hello.
Howdy, folks.
Hello.
And join us, as with always, our resident Prince of Mischief, Mr. Ross Godet.
Oh, thank you so much, Stu. Hey, everybody.
As he wears the red shirt to emphasize his redness today. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Wait, what do you mean?
Red Hulk. That's what
Oh,
it's all about.
sorry. I was tanning yesterday for those who so I wanted to make sure that it's
with his vanilla ice sunglasses yesterday.
Are you still in pain after power washing your backyard, or are you done that?
Funny enough, thanks for asking, Stu. Here's an update. My back is still on fire, so I may have done something. That being said, nothing makes it better than having lying on a hammock with a beer in your hand. Listening to the
hey buddy,
warm,
hammock's bad for your back.
See, Rob, when you have the money that you have in your vast palatial estate, just like Larry Bird, who, as you know, Larry Legend hurt his back.
Yes,
he's an NBA player, scrubbing his driveway because that's the type of guy he was. And he never was the same. So really, you need help. You need to get one of your underlings from the upstairs, downstairs.
Okay,
do that work for you. So
hey, John, can you come over and help scrub my driveway? No?
Yeah, sure.
For your health and for others.
Can't wait to see the result. Oh, Butters is here.
Plus, it'd be good for John. John always wanted to use a power washer, so this would be his experience to try it. Just bring some old shoes that you don't mind breaking in. So
Stu's got a whole bunch of them. You can get them from him.
Not anymore, my friend. Not anymore. I got soccer cleats. You can use those ones. Lots of indoor, outdoor soccer cleats. Anyways, yes. And joining with us are two of our all-stars, as always. Let me first introduce Chris. Say hello, everyone. Chris.
Hello.
And last but not least, the person that probably score on every position that I can stand in net, Sarah. Say hello to the folks at home.
Hello.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is a big summer blowout. Before this week started, we were thinking about what we're going to do and we're going to talk about. Andre gave some really good ideas in the chat, but they were too good for this week, so I'm saving it for next week. As we're probably going to talk about Modoc.
We got to stretch things out.
We got. Andre's like, we got to do this. I'm like, oh no, that's too good. We got to hold for next week because this week is all about summer. As we are moving into the summer and the weather is nice, so we're going to give you some recommendations, a lot of thoughts on the upcoming summertime. As hopefully those folks in America are going to be out and about. And us in Canada, we're going to be in our backyards and, as Rob would say in hammocks. So we're going to have some recommendations. We're going to have some thoughts. We're going to talk all about the summer. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the ride. So before we start off, Andre, is typical for us to talk about I Have Spoken. So let us begin with you. Let us start with a recommendation from you from the annals and from the deep cave that is known as Heroes World.
All right, so it's not really a cave, it's a shop, and even though we are on curbside pickup only and web orders, there's still lots of new great product coming in.
Andre, we could cover people's eyes with a blanket or something, and then make them pretend they're walking into this store like it's like a bat cave. So maybe we can do some
Bird Box style
things.
But then we'd have to have like a giant penny or a Tyrannosaurus Rex, something really cool there to trick them into.
Okay, then we can change it to the Justice League Tower. Maybe we can just put some stuff in there.
The Watchtower.
Watchtower. So we can do that, and then whatever, we can figure it out. Whatever the imagination is, I'm sure Andre and you guys can plan something really cool for them. So let's keep that in the back pocket. So if you want to experience, we can throw some sort of face covering on you, and then you can close your eyes and walk into the store, and boom, here you are.
I think they're called blindfolds.
I don't want to limit them because we could call them imagination visors. We could call them different.
So get a VR.
Virtual reality helmets. We can call them a lot of things, Chris. I don't want to just say blindfolders or blindfolds because that would take away from the magic.
Just a backwards motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, because I don't want to slow the R&D what Andre can come up with, because Andre is a very imaginative guy. He could probably come up with something that really works well. Blaster shield helmets, Star Wars, like Luke, it puts on as he walks into the magic
helmet.
store.
Like had no, yeah.
So, all right, sorry, Andre, I was on a tangent. Yes.
All right. So my recommendation for I Have Spoken this week is a comic book that I think has gone under the radar for a little while. It was hot out of the gate when it first came out because there was a bit of a hiatus. But the new story arc, it's currently on issue 32. And I'm going to recommend that everybody pick up the new story arc for the Fantastic Four. Number 32 is the start of the story called The Wedding of Dr. Doom. So this series has actually been very good. Rocky start, but I think really it's around the 10s and onward, it got really good. It's written by Dan Slott, and the current artist right now is RB Silva, who many of you probably checked out during the House of X and Powers of 10 series. But this book is great. The Fantastic Four are a comic series that's all about fun, fast adventure, exciting monsters. You get cameos galore. We got Silver Surfer showing up. You've got Dr. Doom showing up. You've got Krees. You've got Skrulls. Literally, this book has something for everyone. And the newest series is The Wedding of Dr. Doom. So if you guys know Fantastic Four, he's always been after Sue Richards, but it's definitely not going to be her. I'm going to give you that tidbit of information.
He's been trying to steal that girl for like decades.
Decades, yes.
To be fair, every man's been trying to steal that woman. If you're Namor or Dr. Doom, something about Sue Storm that just like I gotta get me some. So this is not the first time that someone's tried. Oh, I'm pretty sure also Aliens, also Kree or someone else has tried to steal Sue Storm. So
yeah,
Namor,
everybody wants Sue
Aliens.
Storm. She's one of the most powerful people in the Marvel universe. So the storyline,
She's just out there. She's out there friend zoning everybody. Yeah.
Rob's all about Jean Grey.
Rob's going against the green.
Yeah, Rob's all about Jean Grey, who clearly is.
I don't have time for that type of competition.
So the current series, as I said, I think is called the Bride of Doom. Gorgeous covers by Mark Brooks. Great series. If you really want an amazing starting point for the series, like if you don't have to go all the way back to issue number 1, but you can start with issue number 25 and then catch up all the way to 32 it is at. But if you don't want to do that, check out 32. It's awesome. The Fantastic Four are a true family. They solve problems together. Lots of great supporting cast members, and just a really all-around fun book. Like this book, I really believe is what comics are like, and it is a good book for all ages. So there we have it. Fantastic Four 32. I have spoken.
Awesome. Thank you, Andre. That's great.
Is there any truth to the rumor that the honeymoon issue will be issue number 69?
Nice.
They got like 30
That's a
issues to
long
fill,
honeymoon. That's or a long wedding.
Caramba. All right, we're gonna keep on going. For those listening at home, disregard that.
Stu's starting to sweat. He's like, "Oh God, I don't know how to handle this."
Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. Okay, so as we talked about, this is our summer palooza. We are going to give you a lot of our thoughts on a lot of things. So here we go. So first question I asked the panel. People were given these questions ahead of time, just behind the curtains, just so everyone knows it's not off the top of people's heads, because that's all.
What?
Especially for John, I got to give him 3 weeks notice. So John especially needs more notice than he wants. Andre and John, between Andre and John, I can give Andre 3 minutes notice. I got to give John 3 weeks notice. So there's a difference between the two. And Rob, I could give it on the spot because Rob will just go, I got nothing. So it's great.
That's not quite true.
That was a spot on impression.
Yeah. Rob, either he's got it or he doesn't. Like, for example, we'll talk about that later on because I want to get to the good stuff. Because Rob, let's be very frank. When I talked about sent you a topic note, you and Andre was like, I got nothing. So it is true. You had nothing. Okay, so we're talking about summer blockbusters this summer. It is a weird year, as many of you are well aware. I wanted to bring a bunch of people today to talk a lot about this stuff because I don't know what to do and I'd like different thoughts because clearly we know what John and Andre and Rob feel about movies, but I want to throw some wild cards in here to find out, what people's other thoughts on summer blockbusters. So this is really weird because blockbusters for the summertime that were supposed to be last year are now crammed in this year. Movies that were this year have been pushed back to the fall. So who knows what the heck's happening? But I want to get everyone's thoughts on this year's breakout hit. Chris had a really good question. Is it just about money? No, it's not about money because sometimes movies jump into the zeitgeist, but they're not the most popular, like the movie that made the most money. They're just jumping in the consciousness of people. So I want to get everyone's thoughts on what is their prediction on the movie that's going to grab everyone's attention, whether it could be, I'm not giving any, it could be because right now movies are coming out on Netflix, movies are coming out on streaming, movies are coming out in theaters or then going to theater, or directly streaming 45 days after. So I wanted to kind of open things up and give everyone options of choosing whatever they wanted for this summer. Because again, movies, for example, we know all the HBO movies are coming to theater, some not anymore. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to jump into things because again, as Rob and myself and John and Andre suffered watching Wonder Woman 84, we never thought that would be
I think everyone did.
streamed. And it lived up to that. So okay, so we're gonna start off with John. So what is the movie that you think that's gonna be, the breakout hit of this summer, the year of our Lord 2021? John.
Yeah. So like Stu said, the whole environment has changed. So my pick for breakout movie, and again, this is not based off box office or anything. I think it's just going to be reputation and what it leads into. And I'm actually going to choose Zack Snyder's Army of Dead. So a big deal movie combining like every genre. You're taking Walking Dead, you're taking Black Hawk Down, you're taking Ocean's 11, and basically just jamming it into one crazy movie. So it's like Fast and the Furious, but sprinkle in zombies. So like I don't know how that doesn't work. I did watch the first 15 minutes of it. It is available on YouTube, I think. And it definitely looks like typical Zack Snyder, which he has a huge fan base. He pretty much, I don't know if we're going to say he won the pandemic with all the hype surrounding review talk aside, but all the hype surrounding the Snyder cut, like news drops every day. We were getting little tidbits and stuff like that. So he's got a huge following. He's good at world building. So I think, and this has got an all-star cast. You've got David Bautista.
All-star?
Okay.
Well, a lot of people I know. Amari Hardwick. I don't think anyone else watched Power except for me and this panel, probably.
I think the bar of all-star cast is if Andre knows who they are. I think Andre is the bar of like all-star cast. If you can go through this cast and be like, Andre, do you know who this person is? And Andre doesn't know. It's not an all-star cast.
Let me rephrase it then. An ensemble cast, right? So it's got a lot of different people.
Yes, because if you go, Andre, tell me this actor, and Andre doesn't know, then guess what? If he and Holly have not seen them, then they don't count as all-star.
Okay, so it's got a bunch of stars in it.
People someone knows about.
It's got a bunch of stars in it.
Wait
and then
a
it's
second.
also
Even that a bunch of stars question mark has a bunch of people in it. Who's the
a bunch of rising stars.
There are actors in it.
I want this is the game. John, can you
There
do
are
the game?
performers.
Okay, stop a second. Can we do the game? Can you
John's
redo-
changing his choice.
Can we do the list? Can you read out people in this movie for Andre? And Andre, can you tell us if you know any of these people outside of Dave Bautista? Name some other people in this movie. And Andre, you need to say, do you know them or not? This is the quick game. Because
your
you
name?
throw down this thing about all-star cast, John.
Okay. So everyone can raise their hand if they know this person or not.
Yes.
David
Yes.
Bautista. Everyone knows David Bautista. Right?
Works really well for the audio people, so we've all raised our hands.
Ella Purnell. I don't know.
Oh, it knows it. Come on.
Omari Hardwick. I know Omari Hardwick. No one knows it. Okay. Okay, there's a bunch of names that I don't know. Let me see if I can find someone.
This is going real well. By the way.
Oh
You
boy!
started with
Oh boy!
Tig Narato.
Big Nataro. Everyone knows
Nataro,
Nataro.
not Naruto. Yes.
Narato, no
So-
affiliation with Dave Navarro, right?
No, it's not even spelled the same. This is the problem, John. You have now devolved into the fact that you don't know who the people are.
Krista Eller was attached. Krista Eller was attached to this movie at one point.
Andre, do you know who?
And
Chris
he's
is?
not. He's
You
been-
even- Chris doesn't even know who. No, Andre, do you know? Andre doesn't even know who that is. You can't even
Nope.
say that. That's a. You have just proven the point where you don't.
Okay,
even
so I
have to
retract
look.
that statement. It's
Yes,
got a
thank
bunch
you.
of people in it.
You-
It's got an
that's like
ensemble
calling
cast.
everyone.
So it's
the
got a lot of
Yankees-
people that people can choose their favorite Backstreet Boy
You got
or
to be
whatever.
careful, John.
Here
When
it
you
is.
talk
Follow the
about
movie.
It's an
ensemble-
underrated cast, okay? An
okay, there
underrated
you go.
cast.
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
helping you here.
I
All stars,
don't-
guys. All star is a sports term, okay? So let's just.
It's like not even just sports term. He was calling it basically the murders row. The Yankees lineup murders row. It's like this murders row. It's like no. These people weren't even. I can't even name. It's like naming a San Diego Padre player. Can you name a San Diego Padres baseball player? No, probably not.
Fernando
You're the
Tatis
same
Jr.
thing.
But yeah, it's an
cannot do this.
underrated.
You got Chris on here.
cast.
Chris is a sports guy. he got the sports
Chris can
genetics.
name one. I'm gonna name a franchise that's really bad. Who's the worst? Name me.
Don't be baseball. I don't know baseball.
There we go. I was
gotta
gonna
call
ask. Name me someone from the Minnesota Wild, Chris. Anyone.
Oh no, I don't know that.
There we go.
What's the
John, that's
Minnesota
same
Wild?
thing. That's the hockey team.
Is that hockey? What they call? Weren't they called the Minnesota
But
North
wait,
Stars at one point?
Yeah. The North
now the
Stars.
Dallas.
What is a
Stars, yeah.
wild? Like who chose that name?
It's the same people that.
Is
chose
it like a
Wild.
Like from
Sasquatch?
Minnesota.
Is there?
Does it have an E at the end?
It just means that
No.
they're crazy. That's
No.
all.
Wild
no,
Stallions?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
that's right.
No, I love this so much. Thank you all. This is the best. No. It's a hockey team. They moved to Chris's point. They moved to Dallas, and then they got a new team.
Nobody
and
cares, Stu.
They're calling them something cool like the Kraken.
Even you sports guys don't care. Don't even pretend like you
Hey,
care.
Seattle named their team the Kraken. At least that's something fun.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
No
Seattle.
way.
That'll have a
Seattle-
cool logo. At least,
Yeah,
I
they have a
think.
cool logo.
Okay, so
Seattle
what
Kraken.
major league sports team is going to be called the Bigfoot or the Are they all just picking imaginary things now?
Oh, there
because
is.
everyone else is-
I think that there is a
There's
some.
a Sasquatch. See, here's the
There's a
thing, Andre.
Sasquatch team, but I don't
every
remember. I think it's
team-
lacrosse or something.
Every animal's been copyrighted. You can't do anything else anymore because it's like if you have it, you're just IP. It's like you can't have Toronto Maple Leafs anymore because they copyrighted the term. So it's not like any other team can use it. That's what.
At least
IP
it's a
means.
real well.
Like-
They did
like-
spell Leafs wrong, so okay. Let's cue and cut the sports now.
like,
Just
like
too much
yeah.
for me.
So
Too much for
there's
me.
a team, Andre, for your fun knowledge, called the Modesto Nuts, and their team is basically peanuts, like nuts as like it's a peanut as their logo because
like the Planters peanut guy.
that yeah like he has a bottle
Nice.
cap on it. So,
yeah, the monocle on the helmet.
Well, the monocle.
yeah, no,
I
no
could
monocle.
back. That I
That's-
could
it's,
back.
Modesto Nuts. They're a AA team. So
That's a
in
missed
Southern
opportunity.
California. Yeah. So John, back to your point. You can't call them an all-star. And then
Yeah, I retracted that statement.
Underrated. They're
So
I
you
underrated.
think
retracted.
that
Anyway,
this
yeah,
movie
and
is-
it's already got 2 prequels planned. It's got an anime prequel and a.
You're
and a film
kidding me.
prequel.
No
So
way.
wait, so John, you're trying to say that of all the movies in the list that are coming out this summer,
Mhm.
your choice for what you think is going to be the biggest hit is Army of the Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
going to
that's
create
true,
the
that's
most
fine.
buzz, and it's
most buzz, yeah.
a pure, it's the pure movie. Everyone has always like
Yeah.
released director's cut,
Mm.
and Zack Snyder said, "This is out of the gate. I'm getting to do everything I want. Netflix is giving me full support. I don't have to fight them tooth and nail like WB and all the DC nonsense. So he's releasing this pure movie that everyone has been going crazy for the Snyder cut. He didn't get paid for. So I hope those same fans that brought that energy and brought to life Snyder cut support him in this endeavor. You know,
To
all
be
critiques
fair,
of
his
Snyder cut aside,
probably-
we're not talking about Snyder cut.
Yeah.
We're just talking about a director who got kind of I would say shafted,
Railroaded.
was able to redo it for the fans. Like I'm sure he could have walked away. He already got paid. He was already done.
Yeah.
Like, maybe for his rep, he wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
But now he's going to release his own original property under Netflix, who's supposedly being very good to him. They're going to drop in theaters a week early just for hardcore theater goers. And then everyone's just going to be able to watch this at home on Netflix at their own convenience.
to be
So
fair,
I think
John,
this is going to be the hit.
Dawn of the Dead is outside of 300 is probably his 2 best movies, just in terms
Yeah.
of his actual movie that you can watch in one sitting. I don't count Justice League
Little
because
jab
that's
there.
a 4-hour. You don't sit there.
That's what we're not critiquing Snyder Cut. We're not talking about Snyder Cut anymore.
Which again,
We've got episodes on
we
that.
got episodes of that. But yeah, two movies that you can watch in one sitting without taking numerous bathroom breaks or stretch your legs out for those who have bad knees. Yes, Dawn of the Dead and 300 are probably his best 2 movies. So I'm excited to see this. Not in the theaters, of course, because we can't, but in Netflix. I am interested to see what this is because the premise looks interesting. And if it's kind of copying what they're doing with the new Resident Evil franchise, I'm all in because Resident Evil Village is
It's a zombie heist movie.
The best.
I don't know how you can.
It'll be more of a sleeper hit than a like right out there hit. I think like that's.
well, Sarah, to your point, because it goes on Netflix, it's just going to be out there, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the level of entry is. John thought of it, I guess, in a point of your logic is what's going to be in the zeitgeist is because it's on Netflix, everyone's going to watch
people
it.
are going to want to consume this. People are going to get into the world. They're going to maybe cosplay Army of Dead. Maybe this is perfect recipe for a video game. It's in Vegas. Like who doesn't like Vegas? And I guess nothing's going on there right now. So why not throw?
No, John,
zombies in
things
there?
are going on. Lots of Vegas. It never stopped,
Okay.
John. It never stopped.
Just
But
don't
yes,
hear
to your
about it.
point.
Money is changing hands.
Yeah,
We'll say
money-
that.
like, to be fair, like if Chris Redfield can show up in that movie, I'd love it even more. But I doubt he'll be available to show up in this franchise.
Hey, maybe they'll call him up after.
Yeah, because Resident Evil. Anyways, that we need to reboot that one. Let's start again. Okay, cool. Thank you, John. So as we jump, we're gonna go to Chris right now. Chris, what is the movie that you have that's gonna be the breakout hit of the summer?
Yeah, my pick comes out. It's a little later in the summer. I feel like it'll be towards the the dog days of the summer in August. It's gonna kind of everything else is gonna come out like the big tentpole movies like Black Widow and Fast 9 and things like that. So this one I think will kind of take over the end of the summer. My pick is Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. I think my big thing is it's an original, well, fairly original property. It's got Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, marketing genius on social media. He's going to be behind it. I like. Everyone loves Taika Waititi as Korg. He's gonna, it's gonna be funny.
Not
except for that one guy here.
Okay, sorry.
One guy here for sure.
How about the fact that he
Okay,
played, how about that movie he played a dictator? He was really good in that one too.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Rabbit,
talk
talk
about that.
Yeah,
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit. I don't want to say who he played, but he was fantastic in that movie playing that character.
So I think it'll have. It's going to be like a really good action comedy, and that's like my genre. That's what I really love. And yeah, the fact that it's original property. I think people always complain. Everything is a franchise now. Everything is a comic movie or superhero movie. So this is an original premise. Go see it.
Okay.
He used my girl's song in the trailer too.
Yeah. So and there's nothing really coming out after it until Shang-Chi, unless what's it called, Paw Patrol. I'm totally wrong about Paw Patrol. And
Paw Patrol the movie.
It obliterates it a week later.
It could obliterate everyone, but that's a whole different conversation.
So yeah, that's my pick.
It was so you were all in based on just the trailers, or you went on the premise before the trailers? Like, what was it that
I like the video game crossover thing. It's the first, like the first Jumanji, not the first, but the second Jumanji with The Rock had a lot of that video game meta in it. I think it could have gone even further and been even more of a hit with that video game meta. So I think that sort of crossover appeal is something for me. A guy who plays
like Ready Player One.
Open world. A guy who plays a lot of open world video games.
It looks like Grand Theft Auto the movie.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah,
and Ryan Reynolds is going to have a banging 90s soundtrack in that thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's directed by Sean Levy, right? So and I think
Things,
to Chris's point, this is a movie that will be aiming towards the teen crowd, the preteen crowd, like my son, will be 12 and a half. It's aimed to his group of friends as well. So I do agree that, Chris makes a solid point. It was one of mine to put on here as well. It could do quite well this summer just because parents are going to need something to take their kids to by August. I think it's August 6th or something it comes out.
Yeah.
So
and shout out.
It had an original date of December or something like that, right?
It did. It was last December. Yeah. And John, there's a thing called COVID, so it got pushed.
No, I'm just saying.
Another thing is that Disney's giving it that exclusive 45-day window, so I think they see it and they have some faith in it. That's it could be either way, right? But I think I'm going to take that as a sign that they do have some faith in it.
I think they're just trying to make some money, Chris, as COVID is happening.
Well, they
But
could have turned and put Jungle Cruise as a 45-day, but they didn't choose that, so that's another thing.
that is
Instantly
hey,
available.
Don't ruin it. That's maybe Rob's pick for the breakout hit of the summer with a Rock.
Okay.
on
Rob's
a boat.
a Jungle
So,
Cruise kind of guy.
Pat's not on this panel, so I don't think the Rock movie's going to get chosen.
But, and big shout out to Jodie Comer, because she is tremendous in Killing Eve. If you haven't watched it already, it's her and the goddess of all goddesses, Sandra Oh. So
Canadian icon.
Watch that as if you haven't watched Killing Eve. Last season's coming up, so it's going to be a banger. All right, thank you, Chris. Mr. Rob Godet, what do you have? What is the movie that you have set up for us? What is the movie breakout hit for you in the summer?
This is tough. As you alluded to earlier, Stu, is that this is not a typical summer movie. We don't have what was originally supposed to be delivered. I've had a tough time as well trying to figure out the answer to this, because a lot of these movies on my list are also premiering on HBO Max same day as theater release, or on Disney Plus. So we mentioned Jungle Cruise, Black Widow, but everything else that I would have had, Suicide Squad, so on and so forth, are going to be on HBO Max at the same time. So I think that those movies are going to do well. I think there's going to be a lot of buzz around them. I'm going to go on a sleeper where I think that it could potentially slide out and generate a lot of buzz. It's direct to theaters. I'm going to go with M. Night Shyamalan's Old. It's a bold choice. It's a bold choice, but I'm going that way because it's I just
look it up.
I had the date. I had the date, and I just slipped. July 30th. So it is strictly going into theaters. I make this pick for a couple of reasons. One is that I think that by July, we have to be understandable that what happens up here where we currently are residing is vastly different than what's happening to our friends south of us. So things will be completely open in the US. Movie theaters all across are going to be open. I think people are going to want to experience a movie in the theaters aside, instead of staying home and seeing these aforementioned movies that I just discussed on HBO Max, Disney Plus. I think they're going to want like a bit of a thriller, of a horror. It's going to be quite some time. I know John mentioned Army of the Dead, but I think people are going to want something a little bit different than these tentpole movies. And I think they're going to go to the theater. And I think M. Night Shyamalan has a decent track record. I think he rebounded a couple years ago with Split. Even though Glass,
he did follow up with Glass though, so
right, it was a little uneven, and that also required somebody though to have watched Unbreakable 20 years prior. So I think if you look at Split as itself, it was one of these movies that generated, it steamrolled it, made a certain amount of money on that first weekend, then word of mouth, and it kept going. This is a movie, like I said, July 30th, is about a cursed beach that ages visitors. So I think that this kind of is right up that M. Night Shyamalan wheelhouse. I think it'll be one of these movies that people will be like, you know what, that sounds kind of cool. I think it's going to get word of mouth, and I think it's going to be one of those movies that will compete in terms of that word of mouth with these big tentpole movies that, if push comes to shove, I would suspect most people are just going to want to stay home and watch it, especially when it's on HBO Max for free, as opposed to Disney Plus. So that's my pick. M. Night Shyamalan's Old, July 30th, in theaters only.
In the words
that movie sounds just about as interesting and plausible as his movie where the trees were after us, or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
Like, he has got to be the king of the dumbest mother effing plot ideas in the last how many years? Like,
this
this
is based
guy
off a graphic novel. I don't think he wrote it.
I think Andre, what you're trying to say is not the dumbest. What he's doing is basically he's making scripts for Tales from the Crypt as basically a 20-minute episode, and he's stretching it for like an hour
and dragging them out.
Really, these ideas are perfect from Tales from the Crypt. If you're old enough to remember those half an hour, like like that's the right wheelhouse, 27-minute
Could you-
episodes.
Could you
where you do it,
imagine?
and then you're like, there's a twist, and then
Could you imagine this movie? You go to the beach, you put your towel down, and then you ask your boyfriend or girlfriend or significant other to say, "Hey, can you put some sunscreen on?" Like, "Oh, your skin feels kind of wrinkly." "Oh, so do yours. Maybe we should leave." M. Night Shyamalan. The movie's like 5 minutes.
Well, by then
He's
you
gotta
wanna
turn to
try get
dust.
your
He's
youth
gotta turn
back
to dust.
again. You know, this is Andre. I'm excited to see where that goes, because at the end of the day, let's see how he makes this an hour and a half movie. So
Yeah.
as Rob mentioned before, in the
The,
words
the,
of,
the, the tagline is "It's only a matter of time."
Yeah.
Listen, in a world
And
where a
time is
99-year-old
money.
Betty White is still
In a world.
one of the most popular actresses and pop icon figures, then this movie is
she's a
is all
national
said.
treasure. Don't
Dude,
ever
that's right.
besmirch-
I would.
don't
This would
besmirch
be
She's gonna
her.
go
more
on her taking
interesting
tear.
if you went to the beach and de-aged. So you get Betty White goes to the beach and then she leaves and then she's.
But nobody's going to
Young.
want to leave the beach. The whole idea is a
That's the
mystery.
point. Then people will be fighting and killing each other
Andre,
to stay on the
that was
beach.
the
See, it's
plot
instantly
line
more
to
interesting.
Star Trek Nemesis, or no, Star Trek Insurrection. They went to the planet that de-aged them. So
Yep.
you can't do that already.
And
because
that movie
Star
didn't
Trek
do very well.
did that episode already. So and
Very
it didn't do very
poorly
well because
received.
why the hell do I want old people going on a beach?
What
to
was that?
de-age
What
them?
was that Blake Lively movie?
Age of Adeline?
Shallow.
No. The one about the shark where she
Shallow.
was shallow. You have to this like. So I hear what you're saying, Andre, but you have a movie with Blake Lively who spent 80% of that movie on a buoy.
Yep.
Right. And trying to survive the fact, like, for a one full night of a shark circling and trying to kill her. And it was a movie that was quite entertaining and enrapturing, and it generated a lot of buzz. So while
Sounds
it might
way
not
more interesting than a beach where you turn old. And also Blake Lively, I'm sure.
you know what?
appeals
I
to
would
some
take
people
you. I would
on
take
a-
you to
on a
that beach,
buoy. She's
and I'd
probably
kick
in a
your
she's
cane
probably
out
in a
from underneath
bikini,
you.
right? She's probably in a two-piece. So
All right.
Anyways, old.
In the words, Rob, of the great Pepper Brooks, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to see.
I have no clue what the hell you just said.
From the great movie Dodgeball. Have you?
Oh, okay, yes, but it
Yeah,
doesn't stick in my head. Okay, anyways, that's my pick. Go on.
That was Cotton McKnight, and as the very end. At the
Jason
movie.
Bateman, right?
Jason Bateman, as he was putting his leg up, and it's like,
Ding.
oh, that's a bold strategy. Anyways, Sarah gets it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to Sarah now because Sarah has been very patient. And what do you have for us? I hope it's an art house film. Please be an art house film.
No, I
Oh.
for Breakout, I actually agreed with Chris. It was Free Guy. Yeah.
Oh.
I just
Okay.
think it just hits kind of a ton of groups of people. As far as like you said, like it's an original concept. It's action, it's comedy. I just think it'll be kind of a fun movie. I don't think people. I mean, I know I'm going against Rob, but I think people want fun and light, and especially
No,
when they're going.
Sarah, they want to be depressed.
No, that's what the past 2 years have been, right? I mean, honestly.
They want a very
So-
weird art house film of people dying on the beach.
Oh, geez.
Don't go outside. The beach kills you.
Yeah, so,
Well,
or
to
people are
Andre's
wanting
point-
to go to the beach, but the beach is killing you, right? So I don't know.
This could
Everyone
be
would
a
be scared of
spin-off
beaches.
movie because the trees have guided people to the beach that will grow them old. So Andre,
Do
this
you
is
go to
world
run to the
building.
trees or do you stay
Yeah.
on the beach?
Andre's like,
He's
run
going to
over the
connect it to a
trees.
20-year-old movie. Yeah, it makes
I'm just
sense.
hoping that Mark Wahlberg shows up. Is like, whoa, like just telling people to like stay out of the beach. This is the next thing that happens. Marky
But
Mark telling us.
yeah,
but, yes,
but
Sarah.
another, I guess, movie that I want to watch, but I know it's already kind of come out, but we don't have it here unless you want to pay for it, is Raya and the Last Dragon.
Hmm.
I do really want to see that. I think that's gonna be a good movie. I know, but it's it's got your Sandra Oh in it, Gemma Chan, Aquafina. Come on,
Yeah.
But,
It's
but Free Guy was definitely my choice.
I got you. So Free Guy, what Chris was drawn in by the trailer. Was it trailer 1 or trailer 2 with John's girl Mariah Carey? What drew you into this Free Guy movie? Was it Mariah? Was that all you needed in order for you to be all in? Or
No, that was the part that made me think twice about it, but no.
I thought you were gonna say me and Mariah go back like babies and
Pacifiers.
pacifiers.
Old dirt dogs, no
Wow.
lie.
Let's just first
Sarah and Nick
caveat-
Cannon are both having regrets.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love Mariah Carey the singer, but as a person, she's just
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's not get into that.
Yeah, but we gotta separate the artist from the thing. It's just like Kanye. It's just you just gotta enjoy the music and separate the
No,
back crazy
yeah.
heartbreaks in 808. Yes, carry on, Sarah. Mariah, that's what's making you doubt the movie now when you saw that
yeah, that made me question it. But no, it was the original trailer, and I just thought it was just a great concept, great idea. Well, although there have been a couple, I guess. Can't think of them right now. I know Matthew McConaughey was in a movie where it's kind of that. It's really a video game type of thing. So I guess it's not an original concept, but it
You
just
mean the
looks
Dark
well.
Tower? It's kind of like a video game, but really bad.
No,
Maybe
it
the
was
Gerard Butler one. There was one
Yeah.
called Gamer, Gerard Butler.
the one where his son kind of made. He's on a boat. Matthew McConaughey's on a boat. I just saw it like not too long ago.
Matthew
That's
McConaughey's on a boat?
None of us. Is it?
And the really annoying
wait.
actress from Devil Wears Prada. Anne
Is
Hathaway.
he in the desert? Is this Sahara? Because I don't
No.
think that's a
Okay,
video game.
look up. Okay, Anne Hathaway and Matthew. I swear to God, that's
What? That's a movie? Are you sure?
Hold on.
Double
Maybe it's a
check
movie
that.
Sarah wants to make.
Are you sure? Oh boy,
Hold on.
I think we need a
Serenity?
Serenity. There you go. See.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Okay, my fear was a bit about like Wreck-It Ralph, kind of in the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
Wreck-It
that's-
Ralph.
that was-
yes,
that
the
was my
movie with
fear.
Anne Hathaway. Yes. Okay.
But no,
I
I
totally
agree.
agree with that
It's very
movie.
much like Wreck-It Ralph. That's what I thought too. But
Spoiler alert for Serenity. He's in a video game.
Sorry.
Oh God, thank you,
It's
Sarah.
like, it didn't rate very high.
well,
so-
clearly nobody
Clearly
heard
not.
it.
Clearly not on this panel. I'm sure we're gonna get one person from the comment section who go, Sarah, thanks for ruining it. It was on my list. I was
Too
gonna
bad,
watch it
too bad.
2022.
All right.
Robble. Andre, now it is up to you to as the anchor to tell us
Go.
because you have
Andre's gonna drop the hammer.
Andre. What is the movie?
So this is the movie we think is gonna not make a ton of money, but it's
No,
gonna
you can do whatever
be-
you want.
No.
You can do whatever you want. Just the movie that's
The
gonna
hit. The
The
hit.
hit. That's it.
When you think of this summer, in movies,
Yeah.
this is the movie
Like,
that's gonna
I'm just
come up.
surprised no one went F9, but Andre, you can definitely do it.
No, okay.
Well,
well,
that's-
if the best movie of the summer that's not only going to make the most money and is probably going to be entertaining as hell is going to be F9. 100%.
That's fine.
100%.
Let's talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob's on mute. He
Rob.
just-
Hey, that's the worst movie ever, Andre. It's a bunch of cars driving around. I can't do
Exactly.
anything.
Here it comes.
People in cars
It's
driving.
cars
I can
breaking
go
the laws
outside
of
and look at
physics.
my highway on the 401 and
No,
see
no, wait.
people
The cars
driving.
are, the cars are gonna make you old every time you go inside.
Yeah. The 9 movies, they still can't figure out how to park a car. I'm out of here.
You never even need to park. The cars are always in motion, baby.
Cars park themselves now.
All right, Andre, tell us your thoughts on Fast 9 because everyone's just leaning.
Okay,
is that your
leaning
pick,
for the
Andre?
Key for you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
you
thought I was saving it for
That is
the
a
movie that
shocking
was going to
pick.
make the most money. But this is going to be the movie that's going to be not only it's going to be the movie that returns people to the theaters. Why? Exactly what Sarah said, what Chris said. People want action. They want they want to turn their brains off. They want to go and enjoy. They want to chew their popcorn.
They want more Tyrese for sure.
And John wants Tyrese. So John, if it comes out here, he's definitely going to the theater. So this is a movie that, there's a lot of people that don't like them. And Rob, who's probably only seen 2 of them.
I've seen them all.
You
No,
see them
he's
all,
down,
and,
he's
and
down,
people
he's
doesn't
down.
like them. So we know
He's
where
just trying
Rob
to fun you. You're just trying to fun you.
we know where Rob is from, but this movie and franchise has proven that around the world it appeals to everybody. Every single sequel ups the ante for the action and the premise, and it is ridiculous. But that's why you're there. You're not going in thinking this is going to be a Days of Thunder or a movie based on Molson
Not to
Indie or
age
whatever.
yourself, Andre.
This is-
Days of Thunder. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
no,
When's
but
the sequel for that?
It's
We
a
got Top
racing
Gun. Days
movie.
of Thunder's got to be next, right?
It's not that, right? So it's all about these a family that friends have got together. They do the impossible. They break all means. the coolest
Of
thing for me
physics.
is that in the past 5 movies, from 4 onwards, they've all had some type of link. So they are linking maybe the bad guys or the technology or what's his name
Diesel?
Cena?
Tina?
no not Douglas, Escape from New York,
Oh, Kurt Russell.
brain fart.
Kurt Russell.
Russell.
Kurt Russell
Snake
being the
Plissken.
the under
Yeah.
the you know, the
Mr.
man
Nobody.
from nowhere, basically. I'm Mr. Nobody. Like again, they've built this whole world around these guys that started stealing VCRs or DVD players, whatever. So it's larger than life. It's thrilling. The stunts are fantastic, and it's got worldwide appeal. Plus, it is a chosen track record of success. All these other movies, not necessarily a track record for success. Like, this is just a proven formula. So unless, you know, it's super phoned in, which I don't think it is, because it's been 2 years in the can already, I think this movie's gonna just smash everything worldwide, because everything else we've either seen or they've pushed back. And the biggest, Justice for Han. We're gonna get Han back. Everybody's going just to see how they pull that off. So there we
but
go.
Andre makes a really
Yeah.
good point. He picks a movie though that is straight to theater. And this is where we have to, if a question comes up, is what's going to make the most money. If you're talking strictly box office, as much as I think Suicide Squad or Jungle Cruise could have the potential to make a lot of money, you're splitting your audience in half to be able to sit at home and watch it. And so Andre is right. I think he's bang on. This is going to make a shit ton of money. People will go back to the theater in droves to see this.
Or it might bitch be like the way that when we were all kids, it could be in the movie theater for like 6 months, which is unheard of. Typically, a movie's like in and out and they're done. This movie, based on
like
the
John and
fact
Prom
that-
Night.
Chapter
based on
13.
the factors, will be in the theaters just for a long time because people can't go, or their province or country is in a lockdown still. So there are different things that can happen. You know so yeah, Audrey, I totally think that it could be the biggest thing. But I think now with the
What if they
internet-
retrofit a VIP theater to be like the driver's seat of a car, and they build a whole bunch of cars and you just ride along the movie?
You're dumb.
I don't-
Fine.
Didn't they have
When they
didn't
when they
with
make
the
that, you're
moving
not invited.
seats? The
Yeah,
moving-
They had that, yeah. It's
That's a
Combined
lot
with
of money.
I think it
That's
was
a
called
lot of money,
D-Box.
John, for
Yeah.
like a 3-month movie. It's a lot of money to
No,
turn into
they
a car.
have initial D arcade machines in Japan that actually have a freaking car on a platform.
That's
that you
Japan,
sit in.
John. They have Gundams. a
Arcades are
life-size
still a
Gundam.
thing in
So-
Japan, yeah.
When we have a life-size Gundam that I'm able to see, John, that moves and sings and does that stuff, then we'll talk about cars, because right now
fine.
they're ahead of us in mech warriors and giant robots. With Zero, they have one.
So
let's-
it is interesting, and I just want to like
We're losing.
we're losing the giant robot battle because we have no giant mech warriors.
Mobile
and,
Suit Gundam.
we have one.
don't worry,
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's got Rock'em Sock'em Robots coming.
They might not
but
be
I-
huge.
But I do want to, like, the only concern I do have is that it's June 25th is the release. As we know in Ontario, we are still in lockdown until June the 2nd.
Mhm.
That gives us 3 weeks from that lockdown potentially lifting. Will theaters be open in Canada? Like, this is, and I'm not trying to like to shit on
doubt it,
anything,
but
but
we're
that
gonna
is a
find out.
very real. Is it a concern, a possibility? I don't know. We don't know, but
I don't
mean,
think
again,
I don't
in
think
the
Canada's
US
box office is going to play into this. This is
Yeah.
going to just do.
Yeah,
It's going to do
America,
better
the world, yeah.
internationally than it will in North America, anyways.
Mhm.
So
Oh no, I don't
and to
disagree
be
with you.
fair, I
I
think some of
agree
these
that yes,
movies-
the US they'll be driving a lot of this. I'm just saying, as fans up in Canada, that it does. I guess, is it concern? Maybe the lack is, for lack of a better term.
They're concerned about 2 markets: China and America. We are not those 2.
yeah.
We are second-class citizens. So,
Right.
Yeah. So
I think we're third, Stu. We're third.
not even third.
First world.
We're a distant like 6th or 7th if we can, because they lump us together with America anyways. So when they talk about that, we're kind of
North American box
We don't even
office, yeah.
count as our own market. We're just
No.
basically
Yeah.
the North American market.
So this is also Andre's money pick as well.
We're gonna get to that. We'll
Are all
see.
the movie
Maybe
theaters open in the States? Is that
they are open. Yes.
they're all
Yes.
open in all
They
states?
are they are open now that people have got their double vaccinations. So to Rob, to your point, there may be buzz in America, but we know it's interesting because John and Chris and Sarah, you pick these movies that if they go straight to video, then people can make gifs and all these different things of them easier, and just they get out there. And Fast and Furious, I don't think it's going to go to video on demand for like, months and months and months. So
Yeah.
people want to talk about it, but there won't be, I'm imagining in Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy, there's going to be 100 moments where Ryan Reynolds' face goes crazy or something happens, and the people on the internet are going to use it all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know, though, Stu. I don't know if it doesn't get released on some platform in Canada, if our theaters are not open yet. This movie has, because of the base of people who are going to want to see this movie, there's going to be a big outcry.
People are going to illegally buy cam versions, and I don't never recommend that. But
No,
or like
I
download
just
cam version. But please,
At any
I
rate,
think
it's
there's no
conjecture.
question it'll make money. It's going to make a ton of money
Okay.
overseas, especially. It's just a
We're gonna
matter
jump
of,
over to
is
the
it
next
going to be a
one,
good movie? Yeah.
because we're going to keep on going. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the biggest bomb of all these movies. John, what is the bomb? The movie, not in a good sense, the bomb, but a bad movie.
The bomb.
The bomb. It's just the one that's just gonna be just awful, and no one's gonna go to the theater, or no one's gonna watch it. Or
Um,
just,
I didn't really
100
pick like
you should-
a bomb. I kind of picked a movie that I think is not going to live up to expectations.
yep.
And it's a movie that I'm actually really looking forward to, but unfortunately, I think
Leave
they've
the
played
Dead.
the waiting game.
Yep.
But I think they played the waiting game too long and pushed it around so much, and it's got a weird spot in continuity and things like that. And that's Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. So I really want it to do well.
Ooh,
I
yep.
want it to be a
Yep.
smash hit,
Uh-huh.
but I think they just waited. They waited too long. It takes place not in it's a prequel of sorts. And we've already had two great shows from Marvel's TV studio production, and we have a whole bunch of their new next wave, whatever phase you want to call it, just on the verge of coming out. And then they're going to kind of just drop this kind of like right before it, almost seemingly randomly, it feels like. So unfortunately, I think it's just not going to live up to what they wanted or what it could have been, which is kind of a shame, because I think ScarJo, the amount of work she put in, and the fact that she's in just as many of the Marvel movies as Robert Downey Jr., I think that kind of sucks. So yeah, Black Widow.
Black Widow. Chris, what is your pick?
Yeah, my pick is going to be, and I hate for this to pivot into sports again, but it's going to be Space Jam. Like, I'm going to say, like, Looney Tunes aren't even a thing, really, right? Like, I don't have kids or anything like that. John clearly has kids, but I don't think Looney Tunes is a thing. You're bringing back this old property. Like, who's this movie for? I guess it'd be fans of LeBron James or fans of Looney Tunes bringing their kids to this movie, or it's not even. I think it's a simultaneous release, streaming. I don't see the appeal
Looney
of this movie.
Tunes is still a thing. The Muppets.
It's
are
huge
no
in the
longer a
States.
thing.
Yeah.
The Muppets are.
Oh,
That's
is it?
where you could say the Muppets. Who cares about the Muppets? But Looney Tunes.
I think
cartoons are still being played.
Looney
Muppets.
Tunes was huge in the 90s, and that's with Michael Jordan and Space Jam, and that franchise was there for populating that. I just think
They're
nowadays
still
it's,
doing a lot of shorts, and the TV show is big in America.
I think they have a show in US
do.
on HBO
But
or something
Chris,
like
you
that.
don't.
But
you
we don't get it
think
over here.
LeBron's got a big and basketball in general right now. I think basketball's hotter than it's ever been. So I think
Yeah,
there might be some people checking that out. Like,
I think LeBron has a fair share of haters as well. It's just a matter of, I just don't think they will go to the theaters to see this or enjoy it. I think it looks like more of a kid play, but then, well, apparently Looney Tunes is a thing, but I didn't think it was as popular. Like if it was Paw Patrol, maybe.
Hey, I want success for our boy Eric Baza, who is the Canadian guy from Scarborough, Ontario, who's now the voice of Bugs Bunny, who is a guy that grew up in Toronto watching Raptors games and just like Mr. Dress Up and just pretending to do voices, and now he's the voice of freaking Bugs Bunny. So yeah, there are a lot of properties and I think probably we're not the market because they're playing all the time and kids. But again, I think you never underestimate a kid's movie, because parents are like, we got to take them somewhere and we got to take them to a kid's movie. And that's just what happens. Think about all the kids' movies that happen, that people just show up to because it's a kid's movie. There's so many bad, like all the Ice Age movies that keep on going, because what happens? You got to take your kid to the movie, you got to put them something. So it is a family.
Yeah,
friendly.
but those kids, like again, like I said, we're in Canada. We don't follow, like we don't get the Looney Tunes push that the States get. So a lot of the kids here would be like, who are these? They're not Paw Patrol, right? They're not whatever. And it does have the whole underground tagline of the sequel that nobody asked for. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is a very unique property because again, it has so much history. But there is still TV shows that are happening right now. Whether I'm just checking the thing right now, he is still in the Muppet Babies right now. That's still a thing. Did you know that was a thing? Still in operation right now. And Looney Tunes cartoons are back, and it's been playing on the U.S. since 2020. So yeah,
Okay.
they're back. So we just probably haven't seen it because that demo. But yeah, I think to your point, it's gonna make money, Chris. But I think we have we're all about the age of seeing it when we're younger. So there's a kind of a level of Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was the biggest star, and that Looney Tunes original movie had Bill Murray and all these people in it, and it had a very unique place in the 90s. And you watch it, it's unwatchable now, but back then you're like, oh, the Monstars and all other stuff, and now
Yeah, I don't see kids, like, maybe it's just because of our area and stuff. I don't see kids wearing like LeBron jerseys and stuff like that, like they were wearing Jordan stuff like when we were growing up. But different times, right?
Well, there's so many more good basketball players now than there was.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was the only guy, and now we have the Raptors are actually good. So for a long time we were not good, John. So why would you wear?
Yeah,
Raptors
it could just
jersey?
because we're Raptors,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park or whatever. So all we see there's Raptors memorabilia. Maybe if we
when
were
you
in a
have a good
different
team,
area, we
people
would
care
see
about
LeBron.
you. So that's a thing. So yeah, I think to your point, Chris, will it make the money that the original one did? But I think it's watching the trailers. I did enjoy the trailer when I watched them going through all the different universes, the Game of Thrones universe, all the Warner Brothers properties.
Yeah.
So in terms of and then when you looked at the crowd of people, those are all Warner Brothers properties of like people watching the basketball game. So it is going to be a fun Easter egg hunt for me to watch, just to say, oh, there's that character from Warner Brothers. Oh, that's that character. And I'm assuming the Justice League will be there too somewhere. Like I'll probably see a Henry Cavill with a mustache as like an inside joke, like a bearded or mustachioed Superman. So I think there's going to be some stuff. But yeah, I agree. It may not be as high hopes as one would imagine because there's a lot of hype for. And I don't remember, like I like LeBron from his one movie performance. He thought he was really good in it, but I haven't seen him anything else to say that.
Yeah.
This
Was it
movie's
that
not
Kevin
for
James
us.
movie?
The movie's not for us.
The Trainwreck was the movie that he was really like. Bill Hader and him were tremendous.
But he was like LeBron playing himself, like the kind of like this exaggerated
Caricature.
version, like like a really cheap. That was cool, but
But that's
this
what
is
he's doing
like-
now too.
I
He's
don't
playing
know,
himself
it's-
again.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
himself.
like Rob said, this is not for us. I guess I look at it and I just go, okay, this is the same premise as the previous one, and these Looney Tune characters, do they resonate? Stuff like that. So yeah,
I'd
We'll
take
see.
my
I
nephews
could be dead
to
wrong.
it.
So yeah,
Andre's gonna take his nephews to it, and he's gonna watch the Easter eggs in the background because he's probably not gonna pay attention to the other things. So, all right, Sarah. Oh no, wait, it's Rob. Rob, what do you got before I jump to Sarah?
I'm making a bold prediction here on what I think will be the biggest bomb. And it's based on the fact that we haven't yet seen any. This is going to probably bite me in the ass, but we haven't seen any trailer for it, although it is dropping tonight. So I'm sure we'll be doing a trailer reaction later tonight. But I'm going to make a prediction that Snake Eyes is going to be a big letdown and a big bomb. The production stills that we have seen thus far, nobody is in recognizable costumes. They're you've built a movie and a character who is in all black, and his brother or arch enemy is in all white, in a storm shadow, and yet all your big production stills are without masks, without costume. So I think that there will be a lot of buzz around this, and maybe I mean, I get that this is kind of like an origin story, and I know that tonight, like I said, they're going to be debuting the trailer about 9 o'clock or so Eastern. So, maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I don't think that this movie has the steam to do well. I think it will be a bit of a letdown. I think it's gonna be a lot of hype, and I think people will be like, oh, we're gonna throw it up with one of the other G.I. Joe movies. So
apparently, Rob, from what everyone's been talking about on chattering on the web, is that this has barely no connection to GI Joe. They're not even talking about.
Yeah, but
G.I. Joe.
it still has that.
It's
It has
in the
that
universe.
legacy that
Yes.
it's going to be continuing.
Well, I think they want to,
and it's called GI Joe, isn't it? It's GI Joe Origins Snake Eyes. And
wanted-
the last time we did something like that, we had X-Men Origins Wolverine, and that didn't do very well. So although Andre, that's one of Andre's favorite movies.
Guilty pleasure.
Rob,
Yeah.
that first 20 minutes of that movie where they're going through time is the best X-Men thing I've ever seen in my life. Like them going through history and fighting him and Sabretooth. I'll stack that up with anything else that they've done in the Fox.
Great. So
X-Men
you're taking
universe.
20 minutes out of a 2-hour movie. Perfect. All I'm saying is that I think
100%.
Snake Eyes. Again, I'm making bold choices today, and I think Snake Eyes will be
I
viewed
think
as
if
a
they
bomb.
distance themselves with GI Joe, it's a good choice. Let's see what happens. It's got to be better than Mortal Kombat because I'm sure they won't have weird auras, and you don't need to figure things out.
They've got a tighter cast. They've got I think the action choreography is done by the same guys who did Rooney Kenshin movies overseas and stuff like that. So it seems like it's a recipe for success. But I think Rob's right that it does have the legacy of those two movies. Like the first one, I think was considered a hit. The second one, I feel like it was overall better and more true to GI Joe, and it still didn't kind of go anywhere. So I think I think Rob could be right. People might, even if it's good, people might just be like, it doesn't have Channing Tatum in it, doesn't have The Rock in it.
But here's the difference between this movie and like Mortal Kombat is that you can hide the actors by having them wear helmets. So you find good actors that you don't have to learn how to fight. Mortal Kombat, it's like we got to find the fighters first, and then we get stuck with actors. You're like, oh boy,
I know,
like this is,
again,
ooh.
I'm picking a movie that's July 23rd is the release date, and it's only going to theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it could be a telltale sign. Either they give away too information, or they don't give you anything, and then you're like, whoa, there's something up, right?
Well,
So
I
I'm
think
also
they're learning
factoring
from
that as
the
well.
lessons of Black Widow, because Black Widow, now we know everything. Like I can give you a plot outline of this movie because I've seen 6 trailers already. I'm like, oh, I can tell you everything about that movie without even. I can give you a very good educated guess, and maybe they want to leave some stuff out for this movie because, again, it's an origin story. Like we're gonna know. Oh, he grew up. Why is he Snake Eyes? And then when does he join GI Joe? Like this is all very much a simple movie. It's like why did he turn on his brother? Like why are they fight against each other? And that's all going to be discussed in an 1.5-hour movie. Like I don't think there's anything else outside of that, Rob. So yes, I agree. It could be bad, but at the same time, it's because it's so simple and it's not going to lead up to a tournament. This could be just very easy for us. It's like, oh, it's going to lead to just GI Joe. Okay,
Right, but you're comparing it to a movie though that did very well in April for a box office as well as on HBO Max. So I'm strictly looking at it. Does this movie drive people to the theaters as Fast 9 will, as Andre's pick? I don't think so.
Yeah,
that's all.
Henry Goulding is a guy that I back on every occasion, and hopefully in the future he'll be Namor the Submariner, Rob. So let's pray.
No, Louis Tan. Can we give it to Louis Tan? Anyways,
let's be honest, Louis. I think he's good now. I think we're good with Louis Tan. I love him, but
That's
I think
it. He's done.
I think he's shown that he can't lead a giant movie franchise. So let's give it to.
We'll Mortal Kombat covered in other.
Because Henry Goulding he has 2 more Crazy Rich Asian movies in it, and I believe he'll be able to carry those movies rather than Louis Tan. I think Louis Tan could be a nice second-hand character, but giving him the role of Namor the Submariner would break my heart. So let's carry on.
He was already Shatterstar, okay? So Marvel doesn't recast people, right?
They do.
Never.
They
Never.
do.
No,
Never done it
Stu, no, they
before,
never do
so
that. They never do that.
don't
You
worry
stick
about
to
it.
one guy.
But I believe Chris Evans is going to be. I think he's going to be the next. He's going to come in as slapstick. So we're gonna have the next Chris Evans character in the Marvel universe. Sarah, tell us your biggest letdown bomb. What's going to be bad?
I'm so scared how you guys are going to react to this one, but the biggest bomb I think is going to be the Eternals.
Is it coming out this summer?
Well, no.
It's November.
Okay, well, what's coming out this? Okay, well,
Okay.
okay. We haven't seen a trailer yet, and we have a Oscar winner director, so we're gonna hold that because when the trailer comes out, we'll bring you back. Now that we know, we're gonna bring you back in the discussion.
No, it's a very ambitious project that might not hit. Yeah.
I just feel like with all the other Marvel, like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and all of them, like that have proven themselves really well. I just think this one, it'll have I just go when biggest bomb, I think highest kind of expectations, but it's just not gonna.
Let's hold out, because when Guardians of the
but-
Galaxy first came, like they talked about it, we're like, this is stupid. There's no way. And that first trailer came out, and I'm like, I believe, I'm in. So
That's true.
what?
No,
Yeah.
I guess another movie then, but this is this is not going to theaters, I don't think, is the Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
It is
That's also-
streaming. Yes, it is streaming.
But I don't know how you say
Amazon.
bomb if it's like, not going to make money because it's streaming, but
No one could watch it.
that
so
trailer looks awful, and I don't understand why O Canada is in it. Have you guys watched that trailer?
isn't it just
listen-
like a 30-second clip
but-
tease? It's
But
not even-
listen to the music. It's O Canada. I swear. No, watch
Gotta
it.
jab at us.
No, but it's strange. You have to watch that little. But that's another movie that I just don't think will do well either.
I hear you.
Yeah, I heard a lot of
Pratt is hit or
underwhelming
miss.
things about that trailer.
It is not even.
It looks
trailer,
like-
it's a teaser.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
even a trailer. So yeah, I Chris Pratt. You can go either way. I just want him with that ugly facial hair he has as Star-Lord. Just leave him in that role. Nothing else he does.
Yeah,
seems to
he's
be
really
good.
good in the Guardians, but anything
Yeah.
else, or
I want-
Jurassic's okay too. But
I just want him on more Parks and Recreation. I want him as Andy Dwyer and just leave him as a fat man as he's rolling around, having fun in Pawnee. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Andre, I'm super excited to find out what your thoughts are. What is the movie that you are ready for it to fall apart at the seams?
Oh, I think you and Mr. Gadet already know. A Quiet Place 2.
Oh.
I think for sure. I think people are gonna go see it, and for the first weekend or whatever, and then the wool will be lifted from their eyes. They go like, "How did we fall? We fell for it the first time, and now they'll be like, this is just too much. Like this is just too dumb." And yep, they fooled us once, shame on me, and fooled me twice, or shame on fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I think the audience will wise up to this, and I think from the first movie they really proved that they were going for more atmosphere and feeling, and that's great because the movie has no context, subtext, no meat, and this trailer makes it look like they're trying to shove so much stuff in. And I just don't think they have the writing chops or anything to pull that off.
Like just
And
trying
I
to cash in.
I think it's going to be like just this, like, I just don't think it's going to. And it also, too, the first one was a sleeper hit. Nobody knew what to expect. So I don't think the second one is going to be able to recreate the lightning in a ball.
Yeah, it won't have that magic, right? Of the mystery of not knowing exactly what this concept is.
Yeah.
it's been pushed out a long time too, hasn't it? It's been finished.
Yeah, it was supposed to be released on March
Last year.
8th, 2020,
Yeah.
and now it's
Yeah.
being pushed to
Oh.
May 28th. So I love John Krasinski. I think Cillian Murphy is the best. I think he's one of the best actors in everything he does. Whether it when he was in the first 30 days later or
28 days later.
28 days later, and he was amazing in that one. And Joker and Peaky Blinders and everything else he does, he's incredible. So I'm excited to see what he does in this movie. Andre, to your point, yeah, I think the hype world building is hard, and let's see if John Krasinski, who wrote this movie, can do it, because right now it was an angular pocket of like a family, and those are kind of the nice horror things where you don't need to know what everything's going on. And when you have a
Yeah, it's
second
almost like a
movie-
gimmick. You're gonna find out if this was a gimmick that worked great for the first one.
when the moment you bring in the military, and we discovered with 28 weeks later and 28 years what was it, Rob?
28 weeks later.
20, like once you start bringing the military and you scale it back out, it gets really weird, and we saw that already with that franchise of the fast moving zombies. So I'll be interested to see what happens. More military is not always a good thing, as we discovered, so I think this is good. Hopefully they don't rely too much on that in this film. So yeah. Okay, so thank you. As we jump to the last one and the movie predictions, as you know, Andre already discussed Fast and Furious F9 is going to be the biggest one. But my question to you is: Is there going to be any movie this year that's going to make over $1 billion? John, will there be a
Okay,
movie
so-
that makes it? And if it is, how much is it going to make?
Yeah, so Andre already kind of delved into this. I think Fast 9 has definitely got the best chance. So I'm gonna pick the second contender or another movie that could possibly make it. And this is taking into account things that in theory, I guess everything will be open when it opens and stuff like that. And I'm actually going to pick James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So the first movie came
Is that
out.
one of the theaters? I thought it was only going to.
No, it's both. It's day and day of release. So it's theaters and HBO Max.
Yeah. So if theaters are open, I think people are going to watch this. I think they like the visual style of this, the comedy, everything. And that first Suicide Squad, which I'm pretty sure we'll almost all agree that was pretty not good. Yeah, pretty not good. It almost got to
Almost
the $1 billion
unwatchable.
mark. It got like 700 something whatever mil. So it almost hit it, and it was definitely probably word of mouth probably was pretty strong after the opening weekend that it was not good, and a lot of questionable choices in that movie with the Jared Leto and the whole chopping up of the movie. So who knows if we're gonna get a air cut before it drops or whatever. But I think that's probably the movie that I think has the next potential. It's got a video game coming out, all that stuff.
So you're saying your prediction is $1 billion or $1.1 billion? Like you're just gonna say it's gonna just.
I think it's probably just gonna hit it if places are open and it's allowed to roll, and people can go to it. Yeah, because it almost got there with that last one, and that last one was, very questionable.
All right, I wrote that down, John. You'll have to go in the notes, and we'll make fun of you when it's terribly, terribly wrong. Chris, what's the movie?
Yeah, to get $1 billion, it has to be international play, right? Like I don't think that James Gunn's Suicide Squad is very internationally appealing, in my opinion. I think the easy answer is Fast 9, but
it's got a giant shark.
I'm gonna go a little. I guess it's kind of against you, John. I'm gonna say Black Widow, and I just say because it's been almost 2 years since the Marvel property came out in theaters. I know it's streaming at the same time, I think, which would be troublesome, but I'm gonna go with Black Widow. You can pay that. I think people are waiting for a Marvel movie. They've been waiting for 2 years now, and I know it's not in current continuity, but one thing we haven't thought about, I guess, is the fact that it's a prequel or takes place in the past. Is you can have cameos now. You can have Iron Man show up. You can have Captain America show up and things like that. That might be something they've slotted in there and they haven't told anybody. And they're really gonna. It's a known property too. You're not trying to introduce Shang-Chi to the world and things like that. This is Scarlett Johansson. She's been in every Avengers movie, every Captain America movie, and internationally that appeals, I think, and it tracks. So I would say, I'm not going to say anywhere. I'm going to say 1.02 billion. Is what it's going to.
All right, done. Wow, this
it's going to miss it by 0.01.
All right. Rob, what do you got? What's your billion movie?
You guys are going to be upset. I'm going to say none. I'm going to say that no movie will be able to hit $1 billion this summer.
The best against the field, yeah.
Yep.
I think that the movie that would probably make the most money box office wise will be Fast 9. I think the problem is, and I've said 1,000 times in this show, and we've all talked about it, when you have movies that are day and date release with a streaming service, you're cutting into your box office. Even though in Canada we don't have HBO Max, and we'll rent it for the $25, and it will generate some revenue. Rentals up in Canada accounted for a decent amount of quote unquote box office for the past movies and Mortal Kombat we just talked about. But I don't think we are going to find a movie in this summer that is going to hit $1 billion. I just think there's too much happening in the world. There's too many things, and if June 25th, I think is what I said for Fast 9, that's too quick. So unfortunately, I don't think any movie is going to hit $1 billion this summer. Not for this year, but I think for this summer, we're not going to hit $1 billion.
Okay, perfect. That's way out of left field. So thank you.
This is the good answer. The Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer.
As you clap. Is it on the board? Sarah.
No, I agree with Rob. That's the only one that has the chance is Fast and the Furious 9. Because thinking about all these movies for today, that was always my the toss up is some are going to theaters, some are not. So how do you get to $1 billion with so many different ways of watching movies, right? So Fast and the Furious 9 to me is the only one that I think has a chance because, like Rob said, it's coming out at the end of June. So there are going to be a lot of people that can go to the theater that if they're going to able to go to the theater, they're going to go see that movie.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how much like Canadians and all the other countries that can't go to the theaters is going to add up as far as money wise that goes. So, but yeah, I think there's definitely movies that are going to make $1 billion, but later on in the year. Hopefully everything goes back to normal. But Fast and Furious, I think, is the only one that has the chance.
So now that you and Rob are tied, I got to do a tiebreaker. So what, Sarah, since you,
Okay.
Andre, before I'll go to the tiebreaker afterwards. Andre, what do you think any movie will make $1 billion?
I think Fast will. I just think internationally, the problem is like, you know, we live in Canada, but like our theaters don't mean jack anyways. Like in the grand scheme of things, like it's a penny, it's a drop in the bucket. They want Asia, right? They want a lot of the places around the world that we're not seeing are fully open, you know, and I think they're going to get it. And I also think Chris made a good point. You know, there's a lot of Marvel fans, but unless they count what money gets the rentals from Disney Plus as the total box office, which I don't think they do, I don't think it's got a chance to make $1 billion. $1 billion is a lot of money. And I also think that none of these other movies, you know, not none of them, but I think few of them have an international appeal for making people want to see it. Yes, Black Widow out of all of them would, because of the Marvel thing. But again, as Stu said, people have seen all those trailers. They know by now around the world if they want to see this movie, right? And they might be marveled out. They might be like, well, we saw Endgame. Why do we need to see anything else? It doesn't have Iron Man. It doesn't have, you know, it doesn't have any of the big, I hate to say it doesn't have any of the big draws. But with Fast 9, I think it can only help them if they stick to the, let's keep it in the theater. And if they are in the theater, Stu, for like you said, 3-4 months, then 100% they're gonna make that $1 billion mark. And they have made it before. You know, I think it was Seven did it, you know, but I don't think it's gonna make it. Like if my on the record amount, I think it is gonna just, it's gonna just squeak in there. It ain't gonna be 1 point something. It'll be like, oh my god, we hit the billion. And
$8 over. It'll be Andre with his 9th ticket is showing. He's like,
oh yeah.
Honestly, at this game, if Fast and Furious does it, it wins, because everyone else is not picking that ticket. So okay, perfect, Andre, thank you. Tiebreaker between Sarah and Rob. You pick none. So, but for your tiebreaker, just for argument's sake, Sarah, Price is Right rules. Fast and Furious F9. What will it make then? If it won't make $1 billion, what will it make?
The last one made 1.236 billion.
987.
He just misses it.
Just go
Rob,
$1.
Gonna go
Rob, you
$1.
win. Just go $1 and you win.
Rob, $1.
It'll be Andre's $8. I think it's only going to do 650 at most. And I'll tell you why. I know, Andre, you're making the face, but I'm looking at it from a logistics point of view. We keep talking about the Asian box office being a formidable source of money flowing through. There is a lot still happening in Asia with a lack of the vaccines. And while they are opening, Japan's got the issue with, you know, an increase in the surge there. You've got the Olympics. We don't know what's happening with that. India is currently in a state of crisis. There's no money going to be derived from that area. And I know that you say that Canada doesn't account for a lot, but collectively, a lot of these regions for June 25th release, a lot of these regions are in flux. And now we're talking potentially with what's happening in the UK with a potential 4th wave with this variant coming, originally found in India, in relation to the vaccines. So had this movie opened in August, I would say it had a better shot about getting to $1 billion by the end of the year. I don't know, opening in just over a month, in 4 weeks time, whether it will. And as well, Universal signed a 45-day window. So we potentially could have this movie on demand in like a, on iTunes or Google Play by August as well. So all those considered, I think, and I'm almost hesitant to say 650. I think that might be too high, but I'll go with 650.
Yeah, well, Demon Slayer is the Japanese anime movie that's out in theaters now overseas, only available in theaters, so no streaming option at all. That made 474 million so far, and that's just, I guess that's just overseas. Yeah,
I
so
think
that's
they're going to
anime
make
crazy.
650 in just the States, Rob.
Yeah,
People
maybe.
are dying.
I
to
think
watch
so.
the movie, yeah.
I think
We'll
there's.
find
I think
out.
Americans are crazy.
Yeah.
It comes
You know,
out.
they're-
It comes
they
out
just
first
wanna
too,
go
of
out,
all the
man.
movies
No,
you
no,
picked,
but
yeah.
They
to be
wanna go
fair,
out.
if you're double vaccinated and the CDC says it's fine, you just want to max out and just do what you, because you've been locked up and you want to do some stuff, whether it's go to Disney World, which Andre and myself would be doing right now if we could. It would be going on road trips or vacations or Vegas or weddings or just fun things that you miss doing.
Mhm.
You, like the Roaring 20s, you're gonna make it up. This summer's gonna be insane in America. Like every day, no, but people are gonna go out and just making it rain because they didn't
I
holed up
watched
in this house. It's basically like you said before, like a quiet place. You've been quietly hiding away from the monsters, and now they're gone. You're like, let's party. So we're gonna see.
Turn
what
up the
happens.
music.
Turn up the music. So we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all. I've all written it down. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to be the breakout hit, the bomb, and we'll let us know which one's going to make the most money. So join us in our conversations in the bottom of the chat. So as we jump over to our last segment, recommendations, as our Canadians are stuck at home still right now. However, we can all have a breath of summer. We can go outside and sit on our patios or near the pool. Some of us, maybe when we're allowed to go to cottages, can go to a cottage. So I'm asking everyone here for a recommendation of a trade paperback that would be easy to take with you on said journey on vacation, to either read on a beach or, in a perfect world, take on a plane with you. Rob has numerous times given us examples of giant omnibuses, which you're not taking with you anywhere. They're too heavy.
Yeah,
they're
you
too
can. What else you got to do?
yeah, well, yeah, they're big. So if you could take something nice you can enjoy on, I'm looking for a recommendation for people to read, but has some, weight to it, but not too big. So, John, tell us the trade that in a perfect world that you could take on a beach or at an airport, at a cottage. Like, what book would you recommend people take with them to read while on vacation? Something light that they could enjoy while not at home.
Yeah, so I'm picking something a little newer. We've got the whole Venom movie coming out, Let There Be Carnage. So I am going to recommend Donny Cates' Venom Run. You can get it in the little small soft covers, and it's really just kind of expanded that character's whole mythos and stuff like that. So it's Eddie Brock as Venom. They've added a ton of like characters for him to deal with in a whole planet of symbiotes and things like that. And Donny Cates' run is just coming to an end. We're waiting for Venom issue 200 to close off that arc. So it's going to be a nice set of, 5, 6, maybe 7 trades at the most, to have this nice set of this entire Venom journey. So that would be my recommendation. Check out some Venom.
Awesome. Chris?
Yeah, my recommendation is going to be something, I guess, more recent. If you're like me and you watched Invincible, the cartoon, and you want to find out what happens next, I would say grab the trade paperbacks and read ahead, because there's over 100 of these issues to catch up on and things like that. Or the other way around, you like that style and you watch it. Sorry, you read it, read the Invincible trade paperback, and then go back and watch the show and see what they got right. And I think that's a good use of your time.
Awesome. Rob?
So you said one trade paperback, and so I was like, well, I would always recommend something, kind of out there like Saga or even Paper Girls, but you only get volume 1, you're left on a bit of a cliffhanger. So I picked a trade that is one full story. It's an older story from a number of years ago, but I think, Stu, this is gonna touch your heart. I'm picking Black Mirror by Scott Snyder and Jock. This is a great Batman story. Batman, it's not Bruce Wayne in the cowl. It is Dick Grayson, who is Stu's favorite Batman.
My Batman.
So yeah, this is a complete story. So you don't have to worry about being left on a cliffhanger. And it's thick enough. It's a good read. And you're gonna enjoy it whether you are lying on a couch, on a hammock, by a beach, on a deck at a cottage, or by the water. So definitely pick up Black Mirror by Scott Snyder and Jock.
Awesome. Thank you. Sarah, what's your recommendation?
Well, it was recommended to me by John, and I loved it. I read the first 2 volumes. Is Firepower by Robert Kirkman. Yeah, I think that's just a really good. It's entertaining. It's it's martial arts. It's Robert Kirkman. And it's just
What
amazing.
is
I like
it?
the graphics.
What is
Firepower?
it? Because John and
can show it
Chris
to
and
you.
Rob all gave us examples of characters that we know who they are, but what is the you know
Hold on.
the
Let me grab it. Hold on.
oh, she has to grab it. Wait. Oh,
And it's handy.
no!
Oh, all of it went flying.
Oh, okay.
Totally just ruined that now.
It's okay.
There we go.
John can fix
But
those for you.
because I haven't really gotten into this type of comic before. Like
Mhm.
I mean, I used to read Betty and Veronica. That was my idea of comics. I was a girl. What
Still
can I
good.
say?
Still good.
Still good stuff. It's just the character development of the main character. He's with his family and just his backstory. It's interesting. I haven't read everything yet, so I don't really know everything first, but I would definitely say this. And then I was thinking just a regular book. This is just a regular book that I think is very. I don't know if I can say it, but it's the subtle art of not giving a F.
Who's it written by?
Sorry, Mark Manson.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very good book. Yeah.
Okay. Andre, this is you where you have
All
some
right,
time
so
to shine.
if you want
Yes.
some light and entertaining, excellent reading for anywhere, like Rob said, you could do it from an airport if you're lucky enough to go somewhere. You can do it from your cottage if you're lucky enough to be able to go one. You can do it by the pool if you're lucky enough to have it, or you can do it from the comforts of your own backyard or just your bedroom. Something that you want to read that is going to make you just happy and excited, and hopefully you guys were inspired or liked Captain America or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm recommending Captain America Volume 1, the Sam Wilson complete edition. Very, very good read. It collects a lot of Sam Wilson's adventures in the suit as Captain America. So it's called the Complete Collection. There's only 2 of them, but the first one is great. It's chock full of stories. Some of the best art. Local Stuart Immonen, who drew his first run in that. Wow, fantastic! He's fighting Nazis. He's doing things. He's fighting the Red Skull. So lots of great Cap moments in it, and just a super cool book.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So last one question I have for the panel before we as we wrap things up quickly. As again, the summertime is a time where family comes together, or you're still stuck with your family. Either way, it's the thing that happens. So I wanted to get everyone's recommendations on a board game that they can share with or play with their family or friends. As maybe the restrictions open up, we have a little bit of a bubble. We're gonna see. Maybe that's a thing that we could play outdoors, and as apparently that may be a thing, or maybe get together on a patio outside or in a backyard and play with family members. So, John, what's the game that you have your recommendation for playing with either a loved one, 2 players, or just with a family? What do you got?
Yeah. So I went kind of like easy family game. So like Stu said, you could play with a bunch of people, or you could play it one-on-one with a partner or family member or whatever, and that's just going to be Ticket to Ride. So it's one of those easy gateway games, they call it. It's really simple. You teach anyone the rules in like 5 minutes. On your turn, you can either claim a track. You get a big map, and it's like different locations you're connecting together. You can either claim a line on that board using cards in your hand, or you take a bunch of cards that are of different colors from the stack, and then you just connect different cities and you get points for that. So if you fail to connect them, you lose points, and that's pretty much it. So you can play multiple games. You play a quick game with, especially one-on-one is actually pretty fun. You play a quick game, and then you can rack it up again and play another one. And it looks really cool. It's got a nice board, and it's got like these little trains you put on it and things like that. Very colorful.
And the fun thing about that, there are multiple versions of Ticket to Ride of Europe. So
You can get different locations. You can get Asia, Japan, all these kind of different maps for you to play with, and you can even upgrade your trains so they look fancier and things like that. So there's a lot of different things you can get, but overall, very easy game. You can learn it in 5 minutes and be off to the races.
I believe there's a 15-year collector edition of Europe that's coming out.
Game with nicer trains. Yeah, we have that in stock. Yeah.
So yeah, if you could do it, pick it up. Big recommendation. All right, Chris, what do you got for us?
My recommendation is actually 7 Wonders. So if you're like me and you like drafting, but not all your friends or your family collect Magic cards or any other TCG, this is like a self-contained board game that allows you to draft. So no 2 games are the same. you got different strategies, hate drafting, things like that. It's all in there for victory points. That's my recommendation for those who like to draft, or you want someone to get into drafting.
It is a fun game, has lots of options. Like again, you can go science, you can go war, you can go wonders. So it is a super fun game that you can play with your friends. Ideal 3 players is kind of the nice sweet spot, but if you got more, because you can only interact with the person to your left and your right. So it adds some nuance, but yes, to your point, it's a fantastic game. So thank you for sharing. Rob, what do you got for us?
I have 2 quick recommendations. I'm coming from the perspective of a guy with 2 kids who are 9 and 12 and who only want to just play video games. And so when the power goes out, what do you do to keep them entertained? And I kind of apply the same logic to when I've taken my kids camping, or if you go to a cottage, obviously a lack of controllers makes them a little squirrely. Their attention span is difficult to house, to teach them Settlers of Catan. So I've picked
lies. It's your attention span.
Is 3. It's mine. I can't handle that stuff. Throw
burrito. Right
burrito.
up Rob's alley.
It's a game that you play with your family. It's a card game, and it's really fast moving. And then you have an opportunity to throw these styrofoam or foam burritos at your kids. That is cathartic for parents to be able to ping your kid in the head with burritos. It's a very quick, fast moving game. I'm also going to throw in Rumble in the House. They also have Rumble in the Dungeon. This is fun. Like, it takes 20 minutes to play this game. It's super quick. And my kids, they're addicted to this thing. When the power goes out, they're grabbing Rumble in the House for a quick game. Essentially it's a game of deceit within your family. So if you're trying to eliminate players, the kids get to build the board. It's with cards. And who's going to last to the very end. And it's a game of deceit, and it's going to be funny to see if your kids are future poker players or psychopaths, and whether or not they can be deceitful to you or not. So yes, awesome. Those are my recommendations from a dad with 2 kids who have a short attention span.
Fantastic. Sarah, what do you got? What do you recommend?
So board games is big in my house. Every year we get together, we always have to purchase a new board game to bring to Christmas. So between my brother, myself, you guys know my brother, Tim, and my mom, we all like different kinds of games. So this game, actually, we played it last Christmas, and it was a huge hit. My mom loves it because it's visually pretty. It's a really quick game, which I like. It's easy to learn, and you can definitely put a lot of strategy and into it as well, which is fun with my brother and I. And it became quite competitive, and I know you can pick it up at Heroes World, is Azul. It's actually, I don't have it with me because it's actually at my mom's right now, but that's definitely a good game. Another one that I like that's also very quick and easy is Sequence. It's kind of a card game, but again, it's fast, it's easy to learn, and just kind of one of those ones that you can just pick up and start again, and it's fast and enjoyable.
Azul is a tile laying game for those who don't know, and you're trying to build a nice tableau tile in a bag, picking up tiles and choosing what to build. It's a beautiful game. The tiles are really
but
nice.
It became really competitive because we had it where I'd be trying to help my mom to show how to block my brother and things like that. So it got to the point we had a game where we couldn't talk because we had to just once everyone knew what they were doing, you had to just do it for yourself. And so
it's
in a competitive game, like in a game like that, that is actually a pretty legit rule.
It's a really good game.
Could you talk about the weather? Could you talk about what the cat was doing?
No.
So it was a silent game.
No,
it was like it got to the point.
The Quiet Place too.
Or it got really bad. Like my mom would get up and we'd like take stuff, like take tiles, and it just became
Oh my goodness.
We're a big board game family. So
especially when you get the blue tiles, you'd be like, oh, so there's a blue sky out. It's very nice weather today. Like, these are hints that you would give and be like, well.
Or kicking under the table, like.
Oh man, you guys are hardcore.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that sounds a lot of fun.
Like my brother and Gord, like over. Gord and my brother, like I honestly thought there was going to be a fight over a Mario game that my brother brought. It was like a Monopoly Mario game that became like almost a family ender.
It is not a surprise since he has created his own podcast with an MMA function. So it is not a surprise that this guy, Timbo Slice, also named Timbo Slice on Instagram, would be interested in being competitive and in an arena octagon. So those of you who haven't been to that podcast, it's called John
Fight Insight.
Fight in Sight. So visit Tim and say hello.
I actually thought Sarah's pick was Zool from like Ghostbusters. I was like, oh, tell me more. Who gets to be the keymaster? What is happening? But all right, that sounds like an interesting pick.
Yeah. Andre, what do you got for us?
All right, so my pick is a quick game. It's called Dungeon Mayhem, and it's a out of the box. The original box is a 4-player quick Dungeons and Dragons card game. But what I really like about this game is that each player picks a character, and it's the iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters. You've got a magic user, you got a barbarian, you got a paladin, and you got a thief. The object of the game is to be the last person standing. The nice thing about it is that each player has 10 lives or 10 life, and every card has just a symbol on it. And when you play the card, you just look at your little key, and the key tells you what the symbols do. So it would be like deal 1 damage, draw a card, deal 1 damage, heal a life. And it's very, very fast. You can show this game to anybody. And what I do like about it is once you explain to people what the cards do, kids of all ages, as long as they can look at a picture and remember that 2 daggers means attack, then you can do it. Like John said, you could rack up these games fast. I've played it with my nephews, and I tell you, you finish a game in 20 minutes and they are back for more. And they're like, okay, I want to use the magic user now. He's fast. He can draw so many cards, right? So it's just really fun. It's a great introduction to kind of just the character types of D&D. And there is a second version that adds the characters from Baldur's Gate into it, and there's also a version that adds monster characters. If you have more players, you can buy that, and you can collect all of them together if you so desire.
Awesome. Could you, if daggers are too scary, could you put stickers of burritos and replace the daggers instead? And you can.
Well, the nice thing about this game is you're not really throwing things at your kids, so it might be a little bit safer than the burrito, but not as cathartic.
Rob's like, pass.
Yeah.
Any opportunity that I can legally
my
throw
kids or
crap at
something.
my kids and they think it's fun. Like, it's fun, Daddy. And I'm all for it.
You got me.
Yeah, you got me, Dad. All right, do it again. Dual burritos. So.
Wow, that's you. There's no other high point that we could leave off of that one. So, all right, John and Andre.
Quickly, Stu, how about Stu, the board game expert who has curated a lot of Heroes World selection? Was there anything you would throw out quickly? Like Azul was one of the games that Stu brought to me. Even Sequence, Stu has mentioned to me.
I think right now, depending on who you can get together, there's a lot of options. Like if you have just 2 players, there is Seven Wonders Duel, which is like a tremendous 2-player
great game.
It's so much easier to put away. Like I love Seven Wonders is great, but like it's a lot of stuff. But Duels is perfect. There's a lot of strategy involved. Another 2-player game that's good is Santorini, but now it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The pieces are beautiful in Santorini, of course. If I could go to Greece, that's what I do right now. But now they have a New York version, so you can build skyscrapers in New York City. For larger groups, hopefully we can get together soon enough. And I'd recommend Murder in Hong Kong, which is a super fun deduction game if you play with 6 people. So there's a lot of different options. We'll have to do another time to talk about board games because I could.
Yeah, if you guys want more board game content, let us know.
But yeah, I would say there's a lot. I'm more into playing a lot of co-op games because one, it's easier to teach everyone and we're all working together, and especially in
Sarah's too competitive for that.
When you play,
how do I win this alone?
When you play a really hard co-op game, it's fun. Like whether it's Space Alert or which is a super fun, really hard game. And Sarah, when you fail, you definitely blame that person. So it's like it's a co-op game, but when someone fails, oh god, the blame is placed on them. It's a super.
There's
fun
pressure.
game.
Pressure. There's pressure in that
so
game.
much pressure.
Yeah.
In Space Alert. It's a real-time like spaceship game, and you're moving around. And
It's like a Star Trek simulator. Like pretend you're on the ship of the Star or Enterprise or whatever, and someone's a captain, someone's an engineer, someone's a blah blah blah,
and it's all
you all got to come together and win.
So the game, it's all happening real time. Like you can app on your phone, and it tells you like you have 7 minutes to play this game, and everything happens in that moment, and you don't know what happens till you actually start calculating at the next round of what people's movements are. And if someone didn't recharge the batteries, then the laser beams didn't fire, even though you pressed the fire beams to laser. I didn't do the engine part, so I'm the one to blame. So the whole game falls apart quickly. If one person screws up, the whole game is over. So you could spend 30 minutes to just look at from like, you screwed us up. Like 7 minutes is gone. So it's a super fun
Yeah,
game.
and it's a whole genre now. So there's a whole bunch of sub games as well too, if you want it simpler and things like that. Yeah. So yeah, if you want
A
board
lot
game
of love,
content,
like, I like it because again, it's a good explanation. You teach people how to play, and then when blame is placed, blame is placed. So it's a fun game. Okay, so we'll talk about that later on the midsummer point. We'll talk about more games as people are able to see each other more, but bigger party games. But right now, it's everyone give good recommendations to games to share with their family. John, Andre, where can they find you on the internets and in the desert of the real?
yeah. So I'm gonna pump the Instagram. So Heroes World Online on the Instagram. We're pumping a lot of content there. All the stuff that we post, we can now tag our products. So if you're interested in the products, also we'll be trying to post like just fun pictures as well. The Facebook, you'll see every time we add something new to the website. If you follow us on Facebook, you'll see it pop up on the feed. So hopefully that doesn't become too much, and hopefully it just helps you inform you of cool things that you can buy. And then if you're listening to this on the Audio Heroes World podcast, please subscribe, give us a 5-star rating or review on iTunes if you have the time. Yeah, and Izzy says hit the thumbs up.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Andre?
Yeah, and we're still right now offering curbside pickup at our in-store location, which is in Markham, Ontario. So that's just it's just north of Steeles for any of you guys in the GTA or Toronto area that's listening to us. 8601 Warden Avenue, lots of parking, lots of other things to do in the plaza. There's like McDonald's, other food places, no frills. So like I always say, just tell your significant other that you're going out for pick up some groceries, bread and milk, and then pass by and get some comics, board games, action figures, magic cards, you name it, we'll get you hooked up with it.
Awesome. And again, please support local stores as much as possible, whether it's John and Andre or your local, wherever you are in the world. If you can, they'll ship anywhere, but if you can support your local stores, your friendly neighborhood board game store, whatever it is, please support them. They need your help. The big places are going to be fine with or without you buying stuff from them, but the smaller places really need your help. So please do that. Anything helps. And if you can't, like, subscribe, ring the bell, help these guys kind of increase their presence because it's very helpful. Chris, where can they find you more on the internet?
Here. That's it.
Hey, we have the exclusive. We have the exclusive.
heroesworld.ca.
Yeah,
That's what
just
I'm saying. Yeah.
short and to the point, just like Harcourt. The name says it all. Sarah.
Yeah, same as Chris. Just on Heroes.
Yeah, I've got exclusive deals with them both right now until they figure out cooler things.
Until they get popular and do their own thing, like Rob.
and then
leave us behind like Nicole Scherzinger and stuff like that.
Oh,
No.
That's
Was it Mentos reference?
Yeah, John has a
Could have gone with like
very
instinct
particular time and day.
No. You want a Justin Timberlake reference right now? No.
I would like you. Some people would say that Camila Cabello would be the right reference for this generation as she left her group.
What the hell you're talking about?
Fifth Harmony.
Are you talking about when David Lee Roth left Van Halen?
Don't worry. Normani's coming. Normani is going to kill the game.
Camilla
so don't
is
worry.
now
Camilla.
in a relationship with Canada's own Shawn Mendes. This is what you need to know. And they are Shawn Mendes.
To leave you in stitches.
Oh, brutal. People.
Who's
come
Timbo
on.
Slice? What's happening?
Oh boy, well, you guys are not with it. Next, anyways, Rob.
Hey, Stu.
So why don't you tell us, as both Chris and Sarah are clearly, got things locked down and they're going to be doing their own things. Tell us about the next Keanu Reeves film in this ode to Keanu that's happening right now. What do you guys do on the Sidekicks show?
Yeah, so on the Sidekick Show, John and I, every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Mostly, though, the chat in which Sarah is a part of and Chris jumped in last week is mostly on YouTube. But The month of May, we are discussing Keanu Reeves movies. So in the last couple of weeks, we did Point Break, we did Speed last Monday, and tomorrow we are diving into the world of John Wick. So John Wick 1. So please, you can rewatch that. I believe it's on
Hard
Netflix, John
copy.
said, and it's
Amazon
I think is
Prime?
it Crave or Amazon?
I think
I
it's
don't know
on
if it's
Crave.
on no Prime.
I think
is
it's on everything. I want to say it's on everything.
Yeah,
At any
it's on
rate, you can find it. Definitely watch it and join us live tomorrow as we talk about it and jam with his HMV. John, $5 if you know what HMV actually stood for.
Home movie videos.
Nope. Okay. His master's voice. But anyways.
Whoa.
So at any rate, you can join us live tomorrow. And if you want with me, I can find me on Instagram at _905 as Andre alluded to. I do have my own channel, although it's only 23 subscribers. So Andre, don't worry, you're stuck with me for a long time. But new videos, new videos drop Tuesdays.
Give Rob a sub.
New videos drop Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'll let you just a quick hint. This week, I'm actually talking about comic books, the collectibles, the stuff that you see behind me. Prices are going through the roof. So is it time for you to look at potentially selling some of your collectibles because these prices are stupid wacky? So we'll talk about that. And am I going to be selling some of mine? We'll find out.
Well,
So
you can't get a PSA
Doesn't
gun
sound-
right now because they're backed up. So the market is right for this, whether it's sports cards or comic books. They're so backed behind that you can't get anything right now, or Pokemon cards. So yeah, I'm looking forward to find out more, Rob, because not everyone's a nerd like me who's buying NFTs, which you guys all made fun of me for. So here we go.
Yeah, come at me in 2023 when people are like, I have an NFT, man, I want it for $5.
You're
Oh,
on
the
Top
market's-
Shots too.
The market's already crashed on Top Shop, but I'm on it, Chris. Don't you believe it? I've invested lots of money in Top Shop. Non-fungible tokens, as the kids would call it. Yeah, I'm on Top Shot. They made fun of me a lot, Chris. Hopefully you won't hate me as well. But yeah. Anyway, so thank you all for joining us. It was super fun today. I look forward to finding out your predictions. Let's hope for the best case scenario. Let's hope that these movies come out, and share your thoughts as you will on the comment section. So thank you all for coming on today. Be safe, and we'll see you all next week. Andre's super topics coming up, so look forward to that one. And we're probably going to talk about MODOK. I think is that next week or the week after?
MODOK deep dive. Yeah,
It's gonna come
let's
out.
go.
Not this week. MODOK's coming, so let's be prepared for
This
MODOK.
Friday.
So we'll talk about MODOK, and then we're gonna talk about Andre's awesome topic. So see you all, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Nanu,
Thank you,
nanu.
Stu. Thank you,
Bye.
Sarah, Chris.
Old M. Night Shyamalan.